guys, my name is Nick and welcome to my channel. It can be so difficult trying to find good recommendations for you guys, especially on Netflix, because I'm sure you're well aware you might throw something into your list and then before you know it, it's vanished. So today I'm going to look at some recommendations that hopefully better just stay on Netflix. These are all Netflix originals, so unless Netflix just starts deleting their own content, you should be good. Let's get this started before I lose you to some stupid ass unboxing video. Alright, number 10, I have One Day at a Time. This is the reboot of the sitcom from the 1970s, and this newer version follows a Cuban-American family consisting of a single mother with her 2 teen children and her mother, all living under one roof, going through all kinds of wacky family drama and comedy. It's everything. It's so fun. I'm not the biggest fan of these multicam sitcoms. It's not my thing. It's why I go to streaming services and not network television. But this is truly one of the best shows on Netflix. It's so good. It's charming. It's funny. It's got tons of heart. Now, this did have 3 seasons on Netflix, and then they canceled it, and then Pop TV picked it up. So it's going to continue, so you could argue that it's not that underrated. But I still think that more people should give this a shot, because I know what it's like. You don't like this kind of style of show, but it's so worth it. Number 9 is a limited series called Alias Grace, and it's based on a novel by Margaret Atwood, so you know it's going to get Handmaid's Tale-y. And this one follows a woman working in Canada in the 1800s, and she is involved in a murder. And a doctor comes in to decide whether or not she should be pardoned due to insanity. It is so very interesting. It's so good. It has such a good story, but it is such great acting and the costume designs, the production design. It is such a richly made show, but it is so good. And no one talks about this one. Number 8 is Workin' Moms, and this one comes with an asterisk because I know that it is a Canadian show and is, I think, made by the CBC, but it's a Netflix original, so I guess they maybe hopefully have permanent rights to it. I don't know, but this is a show set in modern day Toronto, and it follows several different mothers as they go about their lives juggling motherhood and work. This one is raw and honest and hilarious, and it really kind of takes a peek behind the curtain of what it means to be a mom. I mean, I don't know, I'm not a mom, but you know, from what I can tell, this seems like a pretty good view of it. Number 7, I'm going to go with a true crime docuseries, and this is called The Keepers, and I just cannot believe that this is one that just no one talks about. If you're a fan of true crime, maybe you have come across this one, but I am surprised that we don't have a ton of videos about this case on YouTube. Like, Kendall Ray and Danielle Hallen, they need to get on this. This is one of the most stunning cases that I've ever come across because it's a murder of a nun, and the revelations that come out after this unsolved murder, it gets crazy. This show will take you on a ride, and I can see some people having trouble with the way it kind of jumps between the timelines. It tells its story, I think, the way it needs to, and it's incredible. This also takes a look at how people, just regular people, are doing their part to help solve crimes like this. I find it just amazing. It's so good, and I can't believe no one, either in entertainment or in the true crime communities, talk about this one. You've got to watch The Keepers. Number 6 is Girlboss. This is a half-hour comedy series, kind of loosely based on the real-life story of Nasty Girl founder Sophia Amoruso. And it is so funny and it's so adorable. It's this young woman. She starts her own like resale business and gathers all these vintage clothes, and it kind of blows up and she turns into a thing. And it only went for 1 season, which is such a bummer because I think this is such a good friendship show. It's such a good female-driven show. It's so funny, but it also has an interesting story. I really wish that this one continued. This is one of those ones where I'm just like, you know, Netflix, aren't you dumping like $20 billion a year? You couldn't squeeze in some more Girlboss? Number 5 is one of my favorite Netflix originals ever. I mean, these all kind of are. But I don't know why this isn't a bigger deal. Santa Clarita Diet is the best zombie comedy TV show that I think exists, and it stars Drew Barrymore and Timothy Olyphant. They're a married couple in Southern California, and Drew Barrymore's character, well, she turns into a zombie because she eats some bad food, some oysters, and it gets all bad and she turns into a zombie. So she needs to eat people in order to continue living, and she's still functioning like a normal woman, but she's got to eat some people. And it is just a hilarious exploration of how this family tries to keep it together when you got a zombie in the house. Number 4 is Sense8, the globe-hopping action drama from the Wachowskis. Oh my god, Sense8 is so good. This is like a streaming crime, the fact that this only got 2 seasons. I love this show. It's probably one of the best LGBTQ series from the last decade. Oh, I wish this continued. This is about 8 different people who are all mentally linked, and they can kind of hop into each other's minds and stuff, and they're all over the world, and the way that they connect, oh, it is just such a good show. It's a bummer it didn't continue, but the 2 seasons we have explore a very interesting sci-fi scenario, and I highly recommend it to anyone who is interested. Talk about another streaming crime. Number 3 is Everything Sucks, a show you probably have never even heard of. And this is a half-hour comedy coming-of-age show about kids in middle school in the 90s. And I know a lot of people look at it as just a 90s nostalgia bomb, but oh man, it hits all the right notes though. This was so good. I have a soft spot for these coming-of-age shows, as I talked about in my sex education review, and this was my favorite recent show about teens and tweens, because, you know, the older you get, the less you care. But this show had something special, and it was more than just the 90s references. I highly recommend you give this one a shot. Everything Sucks. This show does not suck. I'm sorry, but I have to. Number 2 is Godless, set in the late 1800s in the Out West. This follows a gang leader who is hunting down one of his own who has ran off because of plot reasons, and this chase leads him to a town inhabited pretty much only by women. And I am not a Western guy, but this show is perfect. I am telling you, it is perfect. And it did win 3 Emmys, but it's still one that maybe popped for a little bit and people cared, but that no one ever talks about this. I would totally rewatch this show. It's easily one of Netflix's best. And number 1, a show I should not have to call underrated, but sadly, here we are. Mindhunter, the amazing series based on the book by FBI investigator John Douglas that tracks the beginning of the FBI's profiling department and how they hunted serial killers by speaking with already convicted murderers to help solve open cases. You guys, this is the best show Netflix has ever put out. And if you caught my news video on this show is basically pretty much canceled. Like, I don't think it's coming back. So go support it. Get on Netflix and watch the hell out of Mindhunter. Get people on there. They will bring this show back. I am telling you, this is so worth it. Once again, going back to the true crime, if you are at all interested in it, this is the best, I'm serious, best show that takes the true crime world and then makes a fictionalized show in the best way. I'm telling you, this is not like CSI or Criminal Minds. It is not that type of procedural. And it also isn't super violent or gory. It's so fascinating the way this show is structured on the conversations between the serial killers and our protagonists, but also our main characters in general. It's just such a good show overall. I love Mindhunter. Save Mindhunter! Well guys, that's my list. What did you think? What are your favorite shows on Netflix? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what you want to see here on Watch This Now. Like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.